Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Jen, and it's time for the November income report for my niche site portfolio, which has a total of 6 separate blogs. We are almost fully 2 years old, and this month I published 67 new posts, which I think is a record for me. So we saw some great progress. We hit a few milestones. We saw a little bit of downward on some of them, but I'm really excited to finish this year up strong. So that way we can start 2024 on a high note, and that'll also be my third year. So let's start with smallest page views to biggest. I don't really know why I continue to include this, but I do think it's kind of funny. So, site number 4 is AKA Google Hates This Site. This was my original AI site, and it is all one click articles. It has a total of 37 articles, and nothing new has been published, and it is about 8 months old. As you can see, Google still hates it, and it only got 3 impressions. Now, shockingly enough, this site actually saw a little bit of growth. It hit a total of 40 sessions with 39 page views, but the majority of the traffic did come from direct, so it could just be bots, but nothing really exciting here. Site number 5 is a food lifestyle. And you know what? This is a really good blog, but I just wish I had more time for it. So unfortunately, it's just going to sit around for a while. So this one started back in June of this year, and it only has 14 articles published. So this month I had 111 organic clicks. Last month I had 118. So it's down a little. It had a total of 192 views and 183 sessions, which is overall down. But like I said, I didn't even open this site this month. So I'm not happy and I'm not sad, but I am hopeful that maybe someday I'll have time to work on it. But I've really got to focus on what's working right now. So this site's just going to sit parked. Site number 2 is my passion project. It's 16 months old. It has 78 articles published with nothing new this month. Now, this one is a little surprising that it did start to see some growth. Last month I had 180 clicks. This month I had 250 clicks. So from GA4, it had a total of 526 sessions and 576 page views. So depending on which one you're looking at, it went up between 25 and 32%. And I have literally done nothing on this site. But it did get some earnings from Google AdSense for a total of $5.45 with an RPM of $10.39. That RPM did go down a little bit last month, but I mean, it's a cup of coffee, right? Site number 6 is my Niche Pursuits AI site. It was started on September 20th. It has a total of 111 articles, and 57 of them were new for November. So this blew me away. So I was shocked last month. It totally exceeded my expectations. But this month, wow, what a roller coaster ride. So last month in Google Search Console, we had 1.4K organic clicks. And this month we had 8.52K. And I was pinching myself pretty much all month long. And don't worry about the huge woo and then down. The one of the strategies I'm using for this site is seasonality. So we're going to see some highs and some lows. So I'm not worried. It didn't get a penalty or anything. Now, I went ahead and included the October numbers as well as the November numbers, just so you can see how monumental of a jump this was. So, for the month of November, it had 10,371 sessions, which came out to a total of 13,041 page views. What's interesting here is that on a lot of my sites, the number of users and the number of sessions is relatively close together, but this one is not. You can see that the users was 8,367. So I'm actually having a lot of people like find me through Google, read an article, go back, do another search, find me again. So the sessions is going up, but the actual users aren't. So I'm actually having a lot of repeat users, but not necessarily where they view multiple things in one session. A little confusing there. Now, I had mentioned possibly wanting to monetize this site, and you know what? It finally got approved by AdSense. And all I can say is the only difference between the first 2 times that I applied and the last time I applied was I had hit 100 articles, and I had seen somewhere when someone had mentioned that that seemed to be kind of a unspoken guideline recently, but it seemed to have worked. And it didn't get monetized until just the last few days of November, so it made a whopping $3.41. So let's see what it makes next month. Site number 3 is my food ideas blog. This was actually started in January of 2023, so it is 11 months old now. It has 116 articles published, and I only published 5 new ones. So you can see on this chart that there is some growth. Last month it was 1.79K organic clicks. This month it's 2.32K. But that's not where the majority of the traffic comes from. So if you remember, this site got hit by the HCU, a nice 40-50% haircut, and it's slowly been growing back in Google Search Console. But what's really taken off is Pinterest. Now, for this month, we ended up with 13,127 page views and 11,042 sessions. But if you look at this little box here, Pinterest accounts for 5,400 of those sessions. So Pinterest is actually bringing in over 50% now. And that's amazing to me because most of the pins that are taking off, I pinned 4 or 5 months ago. And this is monetized on AdSense, and it made a total of $60.10. The RPM is honestly kind of stinky at $4.84, but it's something. So I'm really excited because the new Niche Pursuits AI is almost at the exact same level as this site. And that one's 2 months old, and this one's 11 months old. So it's kind of a race every month to see which one gets further. So can't wait to see what December does. Okay, so now on to my biggest site, which is a YMYL-ish site. It is 23 months old. It has 421 articles published, and 5 of those were new this month. And so this was a little disappointing. Last month it had 14.9 organic clicks, and this month it had 14.5. You will see it had a nice little bump right around Thanksgiving, which was kind of weird, but I'll take it. Overall, this site is really just kind of maintaining, it's sticking pretty steady. So it had a total of 26,403 sessions, and page views was 28,235. So, I mean, it was so close to last month, but I'm just glad it's not losing. And I do have some new strategies I'm going to try, and it's not really new. It's more of this site does really well on Pinterest as well. So for right now, I'm really going to focus on making content for Pinterest, which is kind of different than Google. But I have noticed that if I have something do well on Pinterest, all of a sudden the rankings in Google start going higher as well. So let's see if we can repeat that. She Media did update their dashboard a little bit, so that's why it looks a little different. But this was definitely a nice surprise. Last month, this site made $385.38 with an RPM of $15.78. This month, it made $548.50 with an RPM of $24.01. So this was a little bit more exciting to watch every day, and hopefully this trend continues next month. So now that we have 4 out of 6 sites are monetized, we came in at a total of $617.45. That was a 42% increase month over month because last month we only made $432.58. I was a little sad because basically we were $5 shy of hitting our highest month, but maybe we'll hit that next month. I will say that I included our year to date for all of 2023, just to give you an idea, and we're sitting at $3,727.01. And you may be saying, oh, well, that's what a lot of people make in 1 month. But you know what? Last year, for the entire year, I made $88.82. So every month that this is making over $89, I'm going to get excited and I'm going to be happy. And I've seen lots of year over year reports where the first year they make nothing, the second year they make 3 to 4,000, and then the third, fourth, and fifth year it just explodes. So hopefully that means next year in 2024, we'll see some exploding. And yeah, I can't wait. Now, my plans have changed a little bit. So for the month of November, on site number one, which is my biggest site, I'm going to focus on continuing the YouTube channel, really focusing on some Pinterest driven articles. And I've also kind of resurrected the Facebook page. When I say resurrected, it only had like 8 followers to begin with. And I think at the end of the month, I was at 15. So I'm just going to keep trying to push out content and get some organic traffic that way. I am going to think about putting some like ads in January, so we'll see about that. For site number two, we're just going to keep working that and keep the focus on Pinterest because Pinterest seems to love this site right now. And then we're going to focus on site number 6, which is the Niche Pursuits AI Challenge, because we're getting to about, we're going to be coming up on the halfway mark, and I really want to finish this strong. I don't know that I'll win the $2,500, but I'm going to give it my dangest. So, how did your November look? Hopefully, you guys had some signs of growth. I will see y'all next month. Bye.